Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. It is Uber and the NFL and crypto. Big stuff going on there. And how about this for big stuff? The Fed is testing the largest U.S. banks if they can handle a recession. And I think we're going to talk about why. And I think I've got the why for you. We're also going to take a look at new date for the SEC and Ripple. And we got some Empower Oversight news, which is very, very powerful. And we're also going to talk about this. I get most asked question ever. What happens if XRP actually becomes a security? Well, we're going to take a look at that, even though I understand it to be a currency. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove at the top of the screen, and everything that we're talking about here today. It's $1.891 trillion market cap for crypto. It's February 12th, 2022. Good morning, everybody. Let's get into the numbers here. We see the market is down right now, 4.24%. Bitcoin, 42,000 plus. Ethereum, 2,900, back under 3,000. Number 6 spot still holding by XRP. Right now, we're at 77 cents. We will take a look at the range of price on XRP very quickly. 75 cents on the bottom and 83 cents on the top. Let's go ahead and get started. Ledger Nano, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of cyber attack. You know what? Lots of talk about a cyber attack on the internet itself. Cold storage is what you can do to protect yourself. And right here, Ledger offers that. And there's a great specials and links always with Ledger. But you got to click the link in the description and comment section to get that. And remember, you can trade, buy and sell assets inside their Ledger Live platform directly to your cold wallet. How about that one? Take a look right here from ProCoin News, ladies and gentlemen. Ripple stands to win the fair notice battle with the SEC. We're going to quickly take a look at that. We're 418 days in the crypto innovation under siege in America. Shout out to ProCoin News. By the way, you can get linked to now right off of the link on their page. How about that one? Companies like Ripple, Uphold, Link2 itself, Kraken, Vero Bank, many other great products. Make sure you click it, sign up, get registered. Very quickly, I wanted to show you this. We covered this a couple days ago, but just as a highlight here, I want to remind you that Jeremy Hogan finds this to be important, so I think we all should, right? It's the simple fact in the recent motion filed by the SEC to argue why the fair notice should be struck down, it offered many cases. 75 cases were cited in a Cornerstone report that they submitted to the judge. And a part of those, all of those, let's read Jeremy's comment. He says it best. The SEC argued that the prior lawsuits that they showed as an example and offered for crypto companies provided fair notice to Ripple. It says, however, half of the lawsuits did not involve the sale of digital assets at all, and the other half involved companies that held ICOs. And we know that Ripple did not have an ICO. And he said, oh yeah, the first lawsuit was in 2017. So, this is a mess. And it's really a mess in the way that it just keeps becoming bigger and bigger of a mess with the SEC in this case. They had 8 years to figure out how they wanted to pursue Ripple and XRP over it being an unregistered security. And what do we see now? Delay tactic. I have to believe that the delay tactics, this is my speculation, are about them working out some kind of settlement. And if they can't, you're going to see the judge come in and knock it down on summary judgment. But that's just me, and I'm 12 years short of a law degree. But here's what we do know for sure. The NFL has put real money into getting blockchain technology and crypto integrated into the NFL. And they have spent $600,000 in lobby money. And they are very interested in the side of sports betting and NFTs of some of the biggest players in the NFL, like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Odell Beckham, I think his name is. So, and all the other superstars of the league that are standouts. And imagine what those NFTs would sell for once they start putting those out in a market. Here's even more evidence that crypto is here to stay, ladies and gentlemen. It's Uber. They said they anticipate being able to integrate crypto as soon as it becomes more friendly environmentally and easier to do in exchange. And listen what he says here.
Chance of Uber accepting Bitcoin in the future? Are you having conversations about this internally? Like, could it happen someday?
And, you know, they always use Bitcoin synonymous with crypto, which is one of the worst things that anybody could do. But obviously, let's roll with it. Here we go.
It definitely could. We're having conversations all the time. I think right now what we see with Bitcoin and some of the other cryptos that they are quite valuable as a store of value. The exchange mechanism is expensive. It's not great for the environment. As the exchange mechanism becomes less expensive, becomes more environmentally friendly, I think you will see us lean into crypto a little bit more. So we're absolutely watching it. And if you say, is Uber going to accept crypto in the future? Absolutely.
Any chance of Uber?
And for Akash Washari, if I hope I said his name correctly here, all I can say is if you find XRP and how inexpensive it is and how you can do transactions 3 to 5 seconds for a fraction of a penny, I think Uber will be on that whole accepting crypto bit much, much sooner. Take a look right here because this gets pretty powerful right here. Talk about changing in the current and tide of the news. The incorporation of Uber and NFL. It's so exciting. The Super Bowl's coming up. There's going to be so much crypto advertising. They're calling it the Crypto Bowl, right? Yeah. The Federal Reserve will be testing the ability of the largest U.S. banks being able to handle a recession. Oh, do tell. Yeah, the tests will include unemployment jumps to 10%, 40% decline in commercial real estate, a collapse in asset prices, increased market volatility. Really? Well, I think we've got the why. Take a look at that. $30 trillion plus in national debt. And that's just part of it, right? Let alone the trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. You know, the majority of money that is circling this earth right now in circulation was printed in the last year or two. The majority of the U.S. dollars that is circulating this earth was printed in the last year or two. I think we know what the problem is. And, you know, for all the people that just think, oh, well, this is not going, we'll be fine. We're fine. Everything's fine, right? You know, I tell you, there is trouble coming. And we have talked about this. Fintech private equity, metals market, crypto itself, right? Fine art. These are all of the places that I am considering for high ground investment for myself. It's not financial advice. But these are places that I talk about because it really is meaningful for me. You know, it's about being in high ground during a correction when the market is dipping and going through something like a recession and trying to find those places because fintech creates innovation. And innovation is spurred out of crisis. We saw this in the last crisis in companies like Uber themselves that popped out of there, right? PayPal existed before then, but became very relevant through the crisis, right? So there's many other companies that you could cite in those times that become crisis companies, as they say, that are birthed out of that time. I do believe we are going to see another moment like that, and it will become the birth of a lot of blockchain, fintech, crypto companies, a la Ripple, XRP. Not financial advice, but there you have it. So taking a look here, let's move on to this. Bloomberg informs us about a letter that a group of senators received on Friday. It basically says that cryptocurrency miners and stakers, as well as software hardware providers, won't be considered brokers anymore. Well, here's some more detail. Let's take a look at this. So if we go down into this, basically what we see here, and we know that from the original infrastructure crypto bill that was supposed to projected $28 billion worth of revenue from crypto alone, In that bill was very bad verbiage for crypto in the dealer broker definition that really encompassed people who are staking and miners alike. So in this, we see from Ali here, it says the scoop is, it says the Treasury in a letter sent to a group of senators today signals that it plans to spare the crypto miners and stakers as well as hardware and software providers from forthcoming broker reporting rules. Now that needs to be made law in the verbiage, but we're getting the tone and the letter sent that will be corrected. We will keep an eye on it. You got to keep an eye on these people here, not to be trusted, right? Show me, don't tell me. That's the way that works. Right here is James K. Filan, who always shows us, and we're very grateful for him. SEC files motion for extension of time until February 24th, 2022. So just 12 days away to respond to motion to compel turnover of notes from 2018 meeting with Brad Garlinghouse and Commissioner Elad Roisman. Ripple objects and says the response should be filed by February 17th, as originally said. So in this, we know that Elad Roisman had told, according to Brad Garlinghouse's deposition and testimony, he had said that Elad Roisman told him, "I'm sorry you had to come in here." He obviously did not believe that XRP was a security, and I don't either. But we've been forced to look at that, have we not? Yes, we have. And we're going to look at today and try to take as clear a look as that outcome could be should we see something like that. We've even heard Charles Gasparino telling us his sources say a White House report could say that crypto broadly are securities and that could affect XRP negatively in this case. Or could the case be how we get a clarification that allows XRP to escape a broad designation for crypto? We don't yet know, but I tell you what, it's on us as investors and prospectors and speculators to take a look at it. But before we do, take a look at this. This is Jason Foster from Empower Oversight, who is absolutely amazing. This guy, I tell you, if you thought John Deaton is somebody that the SEC and Ripple didn't see coming, well, Jason Foster is absolutely the second version of that. I tell you what. And again, I've said it, the SEC is now fighting a three-front war. It's against Ripple, it's against John Deaton and the 64,000 plus XRP holders class action. And now it's against Jason Foster, by the way, who has won the right to receive 1,000 documents of communication between Clayton, Hinman, Berger, and Simpson Thacker. Now, if you don't think that somewhere in those 1,000 documents that there's a bunch of communications that they don't want you to see, I got some land I want to sell you on planet Xanadu. And it's nice. It's waterfront. See, we have to understand how this is starting to come together here. The SEC is truly, I believe, against the ropes. They don't want to turn over those notes with Elad Roisman to Ripple. They don't want to turn over these 1,000 documents. And believe me, Jason Foster's not stopping there. He's going even further with other searches he wants done now. And because of the Freedom of Information Act FOIA request, he's won this. They're going to have to cough these papers up. Now think about the information and evidence and damning information in here about the communications between those parties inside the SEC and outside the SEC. Now let's go a step further. Do you think for an instant that any of this, when it comes out, is not going to be good for John Deaton's case and all of us XRP holders? You better think again. Because I think this is where you're going to find that these two entities and their pursuits are absolutely going to align in a great way, in even more of a way than they do with Ripple in the SEC case, because Ripple is really, rightfully so, out to take care of theirs. John Deaton is the one that's taking care of us. Jason Foster looking out for the conflict of interest and trying to keep agencies in the government on the honest side of things. is going to align greatly, and already is aligning greatly, I believe, with John Deaton's efforts for all of us. I have asked Jason Foster to come on to the show. I hope he does oblige. It would be a privilege and an honor. This new government motion asked the judge for an extra week because the SEC is against the ropes. They were like, look, we've got them, but we can't release them. Empower Oversight says we would have agreed for an extension if the SEC provided the documents they said they finally found, because it has taken, as John Deaton tells us down below, 2 administrative appeals and a federal lawsuit to get the agency to even admit that it has the documents we are seeking. At first, it issued a letter claiming that no such records could be found, which turned out to be false. You know, this is what I love about the tenacity of these gentlemen. When they smell something, they don't get scared and go the other way. They run towards it, right? And I tell you what, anything I can do to move it forward, advance it, or bring attention to it, because it is in the advantage of all of us to have this information brought to light. And I can't wait. Looking right here, I want to show you this. This is a clip from Balancing the Ledger back in 2018. Now we're going to take a look at the nightmarish scenario. What if XRP becomes a security, right? And again, I leave room because I personally believe it is a currency, but I have been forced to look at, because of Gary Gensler and the way he's running his SEC, we have been forced to look at how XRP could work as a security, and I don't believe that it is. But nevertheless, with that being said, I want you to hear this gentleman here, which his name is Kyle Samani, who is with Multicoin Capital, and he's going to tell you his outlook on Ripple and back in 2018 timeframe. And we're going to bring that up to date, and I'm going to show you some things, because I don't think it's as scary as we believe it to be. And the reason we've discussed it so much on this channel is because I want people to not just knee-jerk reaction, get scared if something like this should take place, God forbid, right? So take a listen.
Brand and everything else. When we look at Ripple, Ripple just, they keep selling into the market. And based on kind of the SEC's guidance from a couple weeks ago about Ether being not being a security, it's quite clear to us that Ripple is a security. We don't know when that news is going to drop, but the catalysts seem to have kind of gone away from Ripple, and we have very high conviction that it is a security, and so as kind of the system plays out over time, we think that short will deliver idiosyncratic returns.
So the security label is kind of a designation that kind of dooms these cryptocurrency. I think it's kind of a fatal designation.
So the challenge with being labeled a security in the space formally is that not a single exchange in the world today that trades crypto is a SEC registered exchange. If you go to the SEC's website and look at exchanges, SEC certified exchanges, there's like 10 or 12 of them. It's NASDAQ, NYSE, CFTC, the CBOE, right?
Well, a bunch of them are pursuing financial regulations that will allow them to do that.
And some have broker-dealer licenses like Coinbase and some others.
Right, so Coinbase has got an ATS now, they got a broker-dealer license, but that's a long way away from being an SEC registered exchange. And that's a multi-year process, and that's well known to be a super, super difficult thing to do. And so my point is that if Ripple is labeled a security formally by the SEC, all of the crypto exchanges are going to stop trading Ripple, because they are not SEC certified exchanges, SEC registered exchanges. And so if that happens, liquidity is going to dry up on XRP and the price will plummet.
Well, we'll just have to see.
Yeah, we will just have to see what happens here. And you know what? Isn't this the moment we're in? This is back in 2018. And shout out to Balancing the Ledger, Robert Hackett, and the other co-host there. And, let's take a look here. Because isn't this the moment we're in? What did Gary Gensler say? Gary Gensler wants crypto exchange regulation in 2022. That was January 20th this year. So the truth is Gary Gensler wants those crypto exchanges registered with the SEC. This is exactly what this gentleman talked about, but he was specifically citing Ripple and XRP. Now, the fatal mistake I believe he's made here is saying that if Ripple goes off all the exchanges, the liquidity will dry up. Well, Ripple's not allowed to sell to U.S. residents, and we can only get it on Uphold. Ripple hasn't been selling programmatic sales to exchanges since the fourth quarter of 2019 and reiterated they didn't sell any in the last quarter of 2021 either. But they bought $321 million worth of XRP back off the market. The the XRP that they have been providing from Ripple on their escrow releases has been to on-demand liquidity corridors. What I believe that Kyle Samani doesn't have right here in 2018, and obviously courtesy to him because it was 2018, is the fact that Ripple's price is actually coming from on-demand liquidity more than it is the secondary retail market. Because that's the ultimate goal. We are not intended to provide the liquidity for the largest banks of the world. They are. That's the goal. The goal is to bring utility and liquidity from the same place in order to provide value over time. That means the liquidity provided by the people who are going to bring the utility to the network. We don't bring utility to the network. Most of us are buying it because we're hoping the price goes up because we believe in the ultimate end goal of XRP and its full-scale intended use of the XRP ledger. So understanding that the moment we're in right now is the SEC wants the crypto exchanges to come in and register with them because Gary Gensler believes not only XRP is a security, but the entire market broadly, maybe with the exception of Bitcoin in his mind. But here's what I say to you to this. Let's say it does become a security. What happens then? I don't know. Maybe it gets fully listed on NASDAQ, where NASDAQ has already been keeping a price indices on Ripple XRP right now and has been for over a year, almost 2 years probably at this point. I think it was 2019. You know, how bad is it? So it's either Gary gets his way, and if he gets his way and it doesn't go our way, the security exchanges have to, or the crypto exchanges have to register with the SEC, which, by the way, which then gives them the ability to list securities at some point because they're going to have to jump through those hoops, which means you will be able to get it on there. Or we get the currency designation and it's back on the exchanges anyway. Or it ends up on NASDAQ. And who has a problem with that? Not me. I can tell you that. Let's take a look here right now because we see the price has been dipping for XRP. This is the one and only Coins Kid. Make sure you give him a follow. And he's going to lay it down to you where we are. $4.50. Still on the books, babies. Let's take a look.
Literally right there is where your resistance is, okay? You are falling right now below the 20 and the 55, so that's not healthy because you do want to see yourself above them to confirm the uptrend on the weekly. Okay, so right now you are coming down, you run into resistance, so potentially right now I'm going to show you a key level support for XRP just there, okay? Now look at that wick just there, that support where you close just there and where you're open just there. That is where there's a key level support. So straight away off the bat, that would be a bit of a support level for me, 74 cents for XRP.
And just very quickly here, aligning with Dark Defender as well. Both of these guys really have the tea leaves and they're reading them about the same way, which gives me a lot of confidence to know that not that they're just right, but that they understand the market and the charts much better than I do. Take a listen.
And with that, you can see that, you know, if you do start to do that, you've got the left shoulder, you've got this head that you rallied into resistance just there, and then potentially start to come back over the next few weeks, create this right shoulder, holding these lows right now, and you start to come back up, and you're on that white line basically, and you've done something like this, boom, 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 boom. Okay, do you see that? So this is what I'm looking at, because if that is actually a valid inverse head and shoulders pattern just there that you are beginning to form for XRP, where you come back and hold the lows like that, you start to come back up and attack that level of resistance, which is roughly that 91 cents. So if you start to break that, that is actually a pattern that's beginning to emerge on the weekly time frame, and it's called an inverse head and shoulders pattern, okay, in a large horizontal, which gives you a breakout target of this level of resistance just there, and that would be your technical target around about 138. And you can see with that if you do start to do that and you start to create this little inverse head and shoulders pattern here on the weekly time frame, holding this ascending level support as well, okay, you know, we use the wicks like that, it's still high low, you see that, you know, it's big whopping horizontal basically. Now if you hold this, okay, inside this pattern, you're breaking out of this horizontal, which gives you a technical break target from there to there. And you can see that once you break out there, wherever it is, boom, you're up there and you're on your way. And you're putting that big parabolic move here. For XRP, pretty much like this did when it broke this high, you got the big parabolic move moving to the 1618 fib off this high and low, which we all traded together. Okay, look, take a look at this. From there to there, look at that, absolutely knob on. Look at the wick on there, 196, which is the target I was giving everybody, because what you was doing, you was moving up the stairs off here, okay. From there, you impulsively retraced, like I've shown you so many times, you retrace at this low, and you're moving up and down the stairs impulsively and correctively. So this is pretty good. This is pretty good looking forward, because we've not lost these lows right now, and that's the most important level, like I said to you. Now the most important level right now is these lows. Okay, forget about them lows right now. These are your new lows. These are your new lows that you don't want to lose. You start to lose them, that is negative. And you can see you're rolling out of a big massive horizontal, and essentially, you know, you're making a series of low highs here, and you're rolling into the bear, you know. But this is good. This is a nice little continuation pan, and essentially we are starting to form some kind of big inverse head and shoulders pattern. Potentially, it is a potential pattern inside here, right towards the apex, which is a bullish reversal pattern, which gives you a technical target of around about $1.38, which puts you outside of this horizontal, which puts you in a technical target up to there. Now once you start to break that, you're breaking that high, and with that, like I've shown you so many times for XRP, you really are breaking bullish there, and my minimal target for you would be from there to there, and you'll be looking at that $4.50 minimal.
There you have it right there. I mean, that to me is just about as fair a look as you could see of a chart, giving you the up and the down to see where we're going to go. But very, very key points that we need to pay attention to, because if we start to see certain things break one way or the other, then we kind of get a signal of where the overall macro trend of the market will go. Hopefully, we keep going to the upside if we don't hit and break below these new lows right here, which are higher lows from the past. So that there is really, really awesome. Thank you to Coins Kid. Thank you to all of you. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Make sure you check out all the links in the description and comments section. They're great products and deals and specials, and they're trusted, vetted links. I'll catch all of you on the next one.